Hey, Pablo Gunner here with a Nerdy Fitness vlog. I know I'm not in the usual, workout garb, but it's been kind of like a screwed up week. Well, I don't know about screwed up, but just different, weird, odd, peculiar. I don't know, just different, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so as I said in the video last week that I was going to be doing something different this week, which is, it was my last week on graveyard shift for now, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. If I like swing shift, I might stay on swing shift. If not, then I'll try to go back to Graves. I'm not sure. But we'll see how it works. I don't even know if I could go back to Graves if I wanted to. But anyways, point being that because it was my last week, I decided to do something different, which was something different. Work out with people from work, and just as a way to connect with people, for one, but also as a way to just see what workouts they do, what workouts, gave me a good, workout, gave me a good deep burn or something or whatever. And like I said, just, I feel like it's a good bonding tool. I can honestly say, like, some of the best times I remember are when I used to work out with my hermano, brother. And so, oh shit, go ahead. I don't want to. So, anyways, yeah. So, what we used to do is work out together. So that's what I did, is I worked out with other people this week. It was mostly this guy from work, Jake, older guy, but he's a pretty big guy. He's a big guy, older, but he's big. And so it was very interesting how much traffic there is right now. No, he was doing hardcore stuff. Like the first day we just did cardio. And that's the thing, is he goes every night for the week, and so I just ended up butting up with him because nobody else was showing up to work out. I was going to work out with some of the new guys, but they weren't showing up, or I didn't see them. So like I said, I just partnered up with this guy, Jake, and so we did cardio the first night, and so he's like, all right, I just, jumped on the treadmill with him. I did my warm-up first is what I did. I did my warm-up because nobody was there, and then he got there, and I went to the gym. I went inside the main gym, and he was there, and so I just jumped on the treadmill next to him, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I do this. And I was like, okay, I'll do it with you. And he's like, all right. And he was like instructing me the whole way. It was pretty cool. So he's like, this is what I do. He's like, I put the incline up. I want to say to like, I don't remember actually. I have it in my notes. I think like up to 6 or something like that. And he's like, oh, and then I put it up every so many, so many minutes. I think he puts it up. Like every 5 minutes, he'll raise the resistance, or like the incline and the resistance. I think the speed and the resistance. And so it was pretty much just a warm up essentially, but it was at an incline. And so I could feel it though right away in my quads, and my quads had a good bulge to them over the next day. Like even that night, I could see they had a good bulge to them. And then so from there we did that for 15 minutes, and I want to say I got about maybe I think I got like 169 calories, but we did it for 15 minutes, and I think I got like 1.5 miles or something like that. Something like that. Because it was just a brisk walk essentially. And so then from there we went to the elliptical. He's like, all right, and then we're going to do the elliptical for like 20 minutes. And so that's what we did. And so I don't like the elliptical for multiple reasons, because I feel like it's lazy, because you're not picking up your feet, and because you can use your hands to push you. But this elliptical, you can lean on it, but you don't use your hands for it. And so, like, the leaning, that's based on you. That's something that he told me. He's like, all right, well, it's easier too. Like if you raise the resistance, then like that's the thing is we raise the incline, and then we also raise the resistance up to like 12, I want to say, or 10, and then went up to 13 was the highest we went, and 13 was pretty tough. Feels like you're in quicksand at that point. But anyways, that's something I've never liked about the elliptical either, is the resistance, because my balance is horrible on the elliptical because there is no resistance. But if you raise the resistance, then it's easier to balance, and then you can put your motion into it and everything like that. So it ended up being really good, and I go, okay, now I have a good understanding for the elliptical. Not only that, is that when I've done the elliptical and I just keep it at 1-1, the incline 1, resistance 1, I'll do like 30 minutes and I'll get like a mile, But the way that I did it with him, because the resistance and the incline was higher, I ended up doing like over, I think it was like 2.75. I think I might have gone to 3 miles just because I was like, actually, I think that was another day. But anyways, so yeah, I burned a lot of calories on that one too. I burned like at least 200 calories. Like I said, going for about 20 minutes, and I want to say it was like over 2 miles. Or no, it was probably about 2 miles. So I ended up doing about 3 miles altogether, I want to say. And my like I said, my quads felt pretty solid. And then he also showed me some stretches too, because he even said like, yeah, I used to get like really, I used to get really stiff in the joints and the knees and stuff, and I couldn't squat or anything. And he's like, my doctor said to do these stretches. So he showed me these stretches, essentially where you just hang from, like the pull-up bar or whatever, and you just hang, stretches out your spine, and then he showed me these other stretches, which are pretty much a lot of the stretches that I do for cardio. So it was like, okay, and so it's good to see that there are other people that do stretches, after their workouts. So I did those stretches, and then of course, it was shower time, and then that was more bonding. No, we showered separate. But anyways, and then the next night I was late, and so he started before me, but I just did some catch up, and he was doing chest and tri, and he does chest and tri different from quite a bit more people. So it's not your basic chest and tri workout, which was pretty nice, I think. So he uses dumbbells for his chest and tri, but he also, he'll do press. He'll do shoulder press laying down on the bench with the dumbbells, but then he puts his feet up like he's doing a crunch pretty much. And so it changes the dynamic of it quite a bit. And so I just feel like you focus more on your upper body. And then in between that, so he would do that. Then we would do leg lifts, or calf raises. He would do calf raises, but he'd do it on this bar. So you're not doing it straight off the ground. You're doing it on this bar that's elevated from the ground. So you're going below the ground and then up. So like your heels are going, they're not touching the ground, but they're hanging off this ledge or whatever, this bar. And so it was different. It was more difficult. And once again, these are workouts that I already do, but just different. Because I do calf raises for my leg workouts, but he does calf raises, and same thing. He'll do like parallel. He'll do, outward, like a V shape, and then inward, kind of like an A inverted, and then, and stuff like that. And then we would do this other machine where it's essentially, I think it's press. I think it's chest press or shoulder press or whatever. And that one, once again, works the buys and everything like that. He was doing a lot more weight than me. I could not keep up with him because, like I said, he's a big, solid old man, and I'm a skinny little twig bitch, and so I could not keep up with as much weight. Like he had 45 on each side, and then he had 225s on each side as well, and so I had to take off both of the 25s on each side, and I pumped it out to like I would just do 10. And I think that's what he said, is he's like, you know what, start with weight and then go up, do like 3 sets. I think we did 3 sets with the shoulder press, and then you start, and then you go up. Now that machine, I just did the 10 each time. I did my 3 sets, and that was it. I didn't add weight or anything. But for the shoulder, laying down on the bench, doing doing the chest press or whatever, that I did add weight. And he said to add weight, go up like 5 pounds each time you do it. So I think I started at 30, went to 35, and then got up to 40. And then we also did flies. So we, like I said, 3 sets. We did 3 sets of that, and then we did flies. And once again, laying down with the legs up, like in a crunch mode, pretty much. And so that's essentially what we did. And, same type of thing. I think flies are shoulder or chest flies or shoulder flies, whatever flies, those are more difficult. I think those are more difficult because you're stretching it out, you do feel it on the outside, and that's what I like about it. But this is something that I was also already incorporating into my arms workout, but like I said, this is more focused on just chest and tri. So I did that, but then he also had this other workout. Once again, he was outdoing me by like a solid 20 pounds at least, because he was doing 20 or 30 pounds he was outdoing me by. He was doing this workout where it's like chest press but with a barbell, the one, the bar. And so he was doing 80 pounds, then moved up to 90 pounds. And like I said, he said, okay, each time you go up in weight, you can drop down like 2, So I'll do 10 for my first rep, and then my second one, I'll do 8, and then 6 or whatever. Or, how much ever you can do. And so and this was nice too. Once again, working out with people is great because then you can push yourself when you could not push yourself before because you're afraid when you're by yourself. And because then no one's going to help you to get the equipment off your, they're not there to help you. They're not there to get it off of your chest or whatever. You could hurt yourself. Whereas, hey, if someone's there, boom, they can help you out. And so that's what he did, is he helped me out. Because, like, I tried to do 80, and I was dying. Like, I did, like, 5. And he's like, come on, push it. And I pushed it because I knew he was there. Otherwise, I would have quit, like, at least 2 earlier. I know it. I would have stopped. So that was nice. And so he's like, all right, well, maybe go to 60 pounds instead. Because that was my first set. And so for my second one, I did 60 pounds and then did 70. So, and he, like I said, he helped me out with both. And so I was able to push myself further than I had anticipated or had I been by myself. And so that was nice. That's always good to get in those 1 or even 2 more, because someone is there to help you, so that was great. So, but anyways, he said, keep it 5, keep your hands like 5 inches apart, keep it tight, and don't lock your arms out, because there's constant tension, but it's also, it's a easier, faster flow, and you're not bouncing it off your chest. Don't bounce it off your chest, and don't extend all the way, because he said it's bad for your elbows and stuff like that. And he's an older gentleman, so I believe him. So yeah. So that's what I did. And then the next night, he was in there and he's like, oh yeah, I did some yard work, so I'm pretty sore today, so I'm just gonna do the elliptical. And once again, I think I was late, but I was like 5 minutes later, so I jumped on there, and we just did the elliptical. Once again, he was at full resistance. He was at 13, and incline 6, and so that's what we did. So that's what I did for 30 minutes. Once again, thighs felt solid, like you could see them bulging, so it was a solid workout. And then on my last day, it ended up being my last day. I wanted to work out with other people, but once again, I got there late, so there was a newer guy, and I wanted to work out with him. And I did see one of the workouts he did, and he was using essentially, like the bench bar that's the 45 pounds, but then he had other weights on it. And I was like, oh, hey, man, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing bicep and back. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I was just checking out the workouts he was doing and stuff. Same thing, like when I was on the elliptical, I was checking out all the workouts everybody else was doing. So, just so I could be like, okay, I'll try that and stuff. And I talked to the other guys, too, and see what they, and ask them what they do and what it's for and stuff like that. So I have more ideas. But anyway, so he curls it. And I was like, damn, that's freaking hard, because I did it like once, and it was freaking hard. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna do biceps today, and forearms is what I'm gonna do. Screw it. So that's what I did essentially. And so I started with just like these out curls. I think I was just using 15s, and it was a solid workout. But I was doing reps this time, because usually I just do one set, and this time I was doing reps. So I did 3 reps. Then, like I said, I would do different forearm workouts, where it's just me, working out the forearm, like same ones that I do for my arms workouts. And so that's what I did. And then on top of that, like, I would also do I did the curl machine, because there's an actual machine for curling, and I have not done it for a long time. So I started out at 70, and I could barely do any on that one. I did like 5 maybe. And then I would hold it, and then do like pulses to work out the forearms, and you can feel it. You can feel the burn. It's a good workout. But I was also unfamiliar with it because it's a new machine. So they've had a curling machine there before, but that one was worn out, so they replaced it. And so this one is a different machine, so I was unfamiliar with it. And you can rotate it from like 5 to adding weight to it that's 5, 10, 15, or just have the basic 0 with, of course, with the weights, that you put the pinhole or whatever. And so, like I said, I started at 70, and I was like, this is too much. Then I tried 65, then I tried 60, and then 55, and then 50, I think. And so I did more, of course. With each one, I tried to do 2 more as it went on, but I was like surprised like how weak I felt, because I used to do it all the time, and I had it up there. But like I said, it's weird because like it's, everything is about training. If you don't work with that machine, your body's not used to that position in that machine or those workouts. So it's good to like just constantly be doing different workouts so that your body doesn't get used to them and stuff. And you're working out slightly different parts of your forearms or of your biceps, So anyways, that's, and I also did curls with the cable machine too. They had a bar there, and so I did that, and that was it. It was a short workout, but I was like, yeah, I gotta hit the shower. So I wasn't sweating like crazy, but I like to, be hygienic and shower every day. So I was like, screw it. I'll shower and cut this workout short, I guess, since I got here late. So yeah, that's what I did for that day, and then I think that was it. All the other days, because I thought I was going to work, because like I said, I switched my schedule from Graves to Swings. They wanted me to work Sunday morning, get off at Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, go home, and then come back at 3, and it's like, I'm only going to get 3 hours of sleep that way. That's really unsafe. So That and like I had the sniffles all night that night and like a tickle in my throat, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna nip this thing in the bud and I'm just gonna get some R&R for a couple days. So I called in sick for a couple days. So that's why, also why I have not done a workout. Like I said, I was sitting down on the couch with the wife and I was doing like, I was feeling like a lazy bum. So I was like, you know, I'm going to do some push-ups and I'm going to do some, I'm going to do some crunches or whatever, some in and outs, LL Cool J's as I like to call them, where you're completely stretched out, hold, and then come in and, I tried to do as many of those as I could. And then I did like some forearm workouts with my 10 pounders. And then I also did, I did some curls, with the 10 pounders, as long as I could and stuff. And so that's essentially what I did. And that's it. And, but I ate, I don't know. I also, because this was a weird week, I also ate odd too. So like, there was leftovers from Matucci's, so what I had is leftovers from Matucci's, which was a slice of pizza, and some fried artichokes, and that's what I had on the way to work on my Monday. And then, I don't even remember what I had for food, necessarily. I think I pretty much had the same stuff as I did the previous week, but I'll have to check on that.